everybody, and welcome to Canna Guyz. I'm your host, Leo Dot, and today we are at a new hemp extraction facility, and we're very lucky today to have enough time, and we've got him, it's after hours, and we caught him in between meetings, but the owner and operator of this operation, who has decades of cannabis experience, who has spent time in Colorado, and now he's running one of the largest hemp extraction facilities in the region, and just getting started and just taking off. Full disclosure, he's a good friend of mine as well as a business partner of mine as well. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Mr. Neil Spears. What's up, Neil? Good to see you, brother. All right, so we want to, kind of check out what you got going on back there.
As I said, it's CO2 extraction unit. It's each one of the green canisters, there, green top canisters. You put one of the cylinders that's over here, full of hemp.
Okay.
Put down into those canisters.
Right.
That's where the CO2 is injected into it and all that good stuff. And over here at the end is where all the happy juice comes out.
Right.
This machine's a little different. This machine is a little better than this machine. It will extract a little better. Mm-hmm. That's why that has 2 outlets. That has 3 outlets. This refines it better.
Okay.
That's the only difference in the 2 machines. They're essentially the same. And then once it comes out of this, it goes back into the winterization unit,
Okay.
which ethanol is added, get all the ugly stuff out.
And how long, what's the basic or approximate time frame from the time you have biomass in from farmers to the time that you've got product ready to go out to the door to the wholesalers?
All 4 steps, I would say, a day, to process
Wow.
the X amount,
Wow.
to get through the 4
So you don't
steps.
have all the slow steps
This-
like that you would
this-
in cultivation of
No,
cannabis.
this as it sits, this process between the ramping up of the machine and the cool down before you take the hemp out and everything like that is about a 4-hour process. Then you've got the loading and unloading of it to figure in on each end. Then the winterization is 6 or 8 hour process, possibly 8 or 10, depends,
Mm-hmm.
Then the rotovac process is probably a better part of 6 or 8 hours, and depends on how much you're processing at the same at once, and then you still have to mix your carrier oil back into the end, which
right,
is
yeah.
the shortest of the processes, but still necessary to bring the THC level back down so it can leave the building legally.
Now, just to review, all of the national guidelines for hemp is 0.3% or less THC.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's
Once it comes out of this process, it's a good strain of CBD hemp, of CBD-rich hemp would run up to 4 or 5% THC in the final extract. That's why you have to temper it back down with a carrier oil.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's okay for it to do that as long as it doesn't leave this building.
Right.
Once it leaves this building, it has to be back down to the 0.3%.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's kind of a self-closed, self-contained operation that you have here as well. I'm sure you have to have
Everybody has to.
certain securities.
Everybody in this state has to.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, not to be unexpected. So we've talked a lot about the future of this business and this industry, and we've looked at a lot of, some CBD happening on the West Coast, a few states going recreational or medical, and now all of a sudden there's this huge wave of legislation, regulation, state by state. But
Still got people working. That's what all these noises are.
yeah, that's good. That's a good thing, right? When we look at, there's about 10, Illinois will make 11 states that'll be recreational legal, and you've got about 31, 32 states that are some form of medical marijuana, and a few states left, about 17 states, and unfortunately Kentucky is one of them, is just CBD oil. Where do you see, first of all, in the state of Kentucky, or such as the Commonwealth, where do you see this state going medical before we go national recreation? Nobody has a crystal ball, but what do you see happening in the state?
It really depends on who wins our next gubernatorial race.
Yeah.
If it's the same governor we've got, then it'll probably be the same lies we've got for the last term. If it's somebody new, they might follow through with one of their promises, but everybody promises they're going to give it to us.
Right. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. So we're looking within maybe within a year, or who knows. And then the next thing you look at is, when is it going national? There's already a bill put in place, House Bill
I
420.
think
which
there's a lot of things
real
that's
name.
pointing towards. A lot of people know that it's getting ready to break up federally.
Right.
I
What do you
think
see
that's-
happening when that happens?
I think that's why. Well, there's one state in particular, Oregon, that has positioned itself to make more money than any state by
Inventory.
going ahead and passing a state law. They've signed into law now a state bill that makes shipping out of state okay with them. Now, it still has to go federally legal, but
Right.
when it goes federally legal, then Oregon's already,
At the front of the line.
they've already shot that horse. They're going on.
Exactly.
Just waiting on whoever will accept it. And when that happens, there'll be a lot of states that need it, because, if we got legality today in Kentucky, it would be a year and a half before you saw any products sold. Here goes, can't bring it from nowhere else.
Right.
You gotta grow the plants and start making the product.
Yeah.
So it'll cut a lot of that out when it goes federally legal. I would think it might not right away. It may take them 2 or 3 years before they let that happen. I don't know. You'd thought they'd already done it.
Right.
Now,
let's say that it goes legal, just for shits and giggles, January 1st, 2020, that the House bill passes and it's now recreational legal in all 50 states, and cannabis is no longer a Schedule 1. Let's assume that happens. What do you see the landscape for cannabis business people like us, cannapreneurs as they call us, versus the big corporations, the big pharmaceuticals that'll be coming in? How do you see that playing out?
I think that the only thing you can do is right now be grabbing your niche in your region. You don't have to be a global entity to make money in this industry.
That's a very good point.
If you can not even control, but have a good presence in a region, in your state, you're gonna do fine.
Right.
So the best thing you can do is get going right now, because if you wait till that comes, then you're done. You ain't playing.
So basically what you're saying is, let's say it happens on January 1st. For those of us like yourself and myself, and a lot of people we work with that are already in this business, then we're probably one of the last people to get in it. And if we built a profitable business, that's great. But if we wait until that happens, we've already missed it.
You already lose the game.
Yeah.
It'd be like going to Colorado now to go get a dispensary license.
Exactly.
There's more dispensaries than there are McDonald's and Starbucks.
Yeah, I saw that statistic.
Which I think is a wonderful thing and all.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's better than
as somebody
Starbucks
that
and
likes
McDonald's.
as somebody that likes to visit dispensaries, that's wonderful. But as a businessman, that's horrible, because there's no more money to be made.
Right.
And you'll even see there that
Margins
that-
being
that-
squeezed.
you'll see that there are a lot of bigger companies that got in early.
Yeah.
And had appropriate funding behind them to do what needed to be done, and they have risen to the top, in that market out there. And I'm talking about, in Colorado specifically, I'm talking about people like Medicine Man and Green Solution and things like that. There's 3 or 4 of them, 4 or 5 big names that, I think Green Solution, when I left, had 16 or 17 dispensaries across the state.
Nutritionals, yeah.
Mary's Medicinals, they got a big name there, but it all comes back to you get in now and be ready when that time comes, and have your money ready, or you're going to be a year behind. And guys like me will already have made my name in this region, and you'll be fighting to get customers.
Right, and licenses and all the things the steps you have to go through, which is no easy ordeal. I've watched you go through it.
We're
It's been
hoping that
amazing.
we're hoping that by being into hemp fully and playing by the rules and having a good relationship with the law enforcement and with the Department of Agriculture, we hope that will fast track us into being one of the first people to get to actually play with marijuana when it comes to the state.
Right, very good, very good.
Hopefully.
Sounds good, Neil. Really appreciate your time, brother. Always good seeing you. And thank you guys for watching. See you soon.
And legalize it, light it up. You can't deny it, light it up.